Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought this game was still alive after the 67th minute. Argentina, the reigning world champions, the team with Lionel Messi wearing that captain's armband for what everybody assumed was his final World Cup run, was staring down a two-goal deficit against a team most experts had written off before the tournament even started. Egypt was up 2-0. The stadium in Atlanta was shaking, but not for Argentina. And then, in the span of about 11 minutes, something happened that nobody in that building, nobody watching on television, and honestly, nobody who has covered this sport for decades saw coming. This is Goal Verdict, and if you love moments where history flips upside down in real time, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Before we get into how this comeback actually happened, and trust me, there is a mistake buried in Egypt's approach that we need to talk about, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you are new here, because we break down these matches the way nobody else does, with real analysis, not just highlights. So let's rewind to the start, because the story of this match does not begin with Argentina dominating. It begins with Argentina getting punched in the mouth. 15 minutes in, Yasser Ibrahim rises above the Argentine backline and heads home a goal that silenced every Messi chant in that stadium. Egypt, a team many people assumed would sit back and defend for 90 minutes, came out and actually attacked. And it worked. For the first time in this entire World Cup, Argentina was trailing. Think about that for a second. Through every single group stage match, through every knockout test up to this point, Argentina had never once had to chase a game. Now they were behind, and you could see it in how they played. A little rushed, a little desperate, not their usual composed selves. And then things got worse before they got better. In the 21st minute, Argentina earned a penalty, a golden chance to level things immediately. Messi stepped up. The whole stadium held its breath, and he missed it. The goalkeeper, Mustafa Shubir, guessed right and made the save. Now, if you are a betting person, this is usually the moment where you write the underdog's name in the win column and move on. Messi missing a penalty in a knockout game at his age in what might be his final World Cup, that is the kind of moment that becomes the headline. Except Shubir was not done. He kept making saves. He stopped a dangerous low drive from Rodrigo de Paul. He somehow got a fingertip on a curling effort from Julian Alvarez that seemed destined for the top corner. This was shaping up to be the individual performance of the tournament from a goalkeeper nobody outside of Egypt could have named a month ago. By the 67th minute, Egypt doubled their lead. Mostafa Zico found space and buried a second goal, and at that point, honestly, the match felt over. 2-0, Argentina missing penalties, Egypt's goalkeeper playing out of his mind, and the clock ticking down. If you had told anyone in that stadium at that moment that Argentina was about to score 3 unanswered goals, they would have laughed at you. But here is where the story turns, and here is where we need to talk about analysis, not just what happened, but why it happened. Argentina did not panic. That is the difference between a team that has won recent World Cups and a team that has not. Instead of throwing everything forward in a chaotic scramble, they stayed patient, kept circulating the ball, and waited for Egypt's energy to drop. And it did drop. Defending a 2-goal lead against relentless pressure for over an hour takes an enormous physical and mental toll, and you could see Egypt's defensive shape start to lose its discipline in the final 20 minutes. 79 minutes in, Christian Romero, a center back of all people, gets forward on a set piece and powers home a header. 2-1. The stadium that had gone quiet suddenly roars back to life. 4 minutes later, Messi gets his redemption. A cross comes in, there is a scramble in the box, and Messi's first-time strike cannons off the crossbar and in. 2-2. That goal was his 8th of the tournament, more than any other player in this entire World Cup, and it came just minutes after the worst moment of his match, the missed penalty. That right there tells you something about mentality. A lot of players disappear after a miss like that. Messi went and scored the equalizer anyway. And then, deep into stoppage time in the 90th plus second minute, Enzo Fernandez rises to head home the winner. 3-2, Argentina. Game over. Egypt's incredible fight back, their brilliant tactical start, their goalkeeper's heroics, all of it undone in the final 15 minutes of the match. Now let's actually break down why this happened, because this is where a lot of channels stop and we do not. Egypt's mistake was not tactical, it was managerial and physical. When you take an early 2-goal lead against a technically superior team like Argentina, you have two options. You either keep pushing forward to add a third and truly kill the game, or you drop deeper and conserve energy for a genuine backs-to-the-wall defensive effort. Egypt tried to do a bit of both and ended up doing neither well. They kept pressing high enough to get exposed on the counter, but not aggressively enough to add that crucial third goal that would have made the game essentially unwinnable for Argentina. And by the time they realized they needed to fully commit to defending deep, Argentina had already found their rhythm and their confidence was surging. For Argentina, the story here is about squad depth and mental resilience. This is a team that has now proven twice in major tournaments that they do not fold under pressure, and that is something you genuinely cannot teach. Julian Alvarez's movement up front created chaos all match long. DePaul's engine in midfield never stopped running even when the team was down 2 goals, and Messi, even on a night where his penalty miss should have haunted him, delivered when it mattered most. This win sends Argentina through to the quarterfinals of the 2026 World Cup. Not the Final Four just yet. There is still real work ahead. But a comeback like this does something to a team psychologically. It tells every other nation left in this tournament that beating Argentina means you need to finish the job, because if you do not, they will find a way back. So here's the real question heading into the next round. Can Argentina keep riding this wave of dramatic emotional victories, or does a comeback like this actually drain a team more than it energizes them going into their next test? Because history has shown us both outcomes are possible. Drop your prediction down in the comments, tell us who you think Argentina faces next and whether you believe they can keep this magic going. And if you want the breakdown the moment that next matchup is confirmed, make sure you are subscribed to Goal Verdict, because we are not going anywhere until this tournament crowns a champion. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.